From its founding in 1842, the Relief Society has been blessed by the careful and loving oversight of the prophet of God.
We know that the purpose of Relief Society, as established by the Lord, is to prepare women for the blessings of eternal life.
The Relief Society inspires and teaches women to help them increase their faith and personal righteousness, strengthen families, and seek out and help those in need.
I am really grateful for the Relief Society program because as a young mother, not being able to get out a lot of things, every time I went to Relief Society I learned something new that was either helpful with my children or just helping me spiritually or to be a better person. So I've learned that over the years, if I attend Relief Society, that it was all that I needed to, not all that I needed, but it helped me to become a better mother and a better wife and a better sister of the gospel.
It tells me that the Lord thinks that we're very, very special because He gave us our very own society to use our talents and our spiritual gifts.
We learn from each other and we can uplift each other.
I think for me it means sisterhood and connections and just a family away from family.
Whenever I think of Relief Society, it kind of epitomises like womanhood, sort of caring for those in need and loving, I don't know. I think that's Relief Society.
And the Father looked down, and the angels surrounded that place. They knew the truth, all that you could do, and you will too, if you have eyes to see what heaven sees in you.
Every righteous woman has a significant role to play in God's plan and the building up of His kingdom. Relief Society needs you, and you need Relief Society.
Sometimes we're asked to do things, maybe lessons or give talks, which we don't really want to do. We feel so nervous. But I remember one particular sister, and she was really obedient. She was asked to give a Relief Society lesson, and it was on a Tuesday evening when we used to meet, and she was terrified, but she was obedient, and so she came to do it, and she was trembling, and she had it all written out, the lesson, and so she stood up and she started to do the lesson, and someone put their hand up and she said, and to ask a question, and she looked up and she said, "I'm really sorry, but if you ask questions or we discuss anything, I will lose where I am in the lesson. So I have to just say this lesson as it is, and I don't have to have any questions." So I'm really sorry, but that's the only way I can do it. And so we went through the lesson, and she never said anything to the sisters or asked questions because she just followed the lesson. But do you know that sister, as years moved on, she became a most wonderful teacher. And because she was obedient to start with, the Lord was able to help her. That's what taught me a lot, that sometimes we think we can't do something, but we can.
Relief Society to me is my family. They are my friends, my sisters. They help me strengthen my testimony. They help me in many ways, visiting, teaching. The times when I felt lowest and felt like I may be going inactive, it's the sisters that pull round me and can see what's happening before I do and help me to stay close to the Lord.
This is like my family here. This means more to, this is more of a family to me than my own family, because we all think the same, we all talk about the same things, we understand the same things. we understand each other's needs. And
when I was a young woman, moving into Relief Society, I was in a ward a lot like Leeds 1 actually. It was the Durban Berea ward, and there were a lot of mature sisters and very knowledgeable sisters that I felt in the gospel. And I was just a very young 18-year-old girl, and they asked me to teach what was then the homemaking lesson. And I wasn't married, and didn't think I knew anything about homemaking, and yet they'd asked me to teach this lesson. And when I went to the Relief Society president and I said to her, "Are you sure you've got the right person?" She said, "No, I'm not sure." She said, "But the Lord is sure." And I learned so much from teaching that homemaking lesson, and I think that's what Relief Society is about. It's about not necessarily knowing everything, but learning a lot. And so my favourite thing, my favourite memory of Relief Society is that very first teaching calling that I had in Relief Society, and how much I learned from doing that.
What do you think about visiting teaching? Like, have you had any experiences, or how has it blessed your life?
I know that whenever I've done my visiting teaching, or when I've been visiting taught, I feel like it allows, well, when I'm the visiting teacher, it allows me to pick up on things that I maybe couldn't in a large crowd of people. And when I'm being visiting taught, it means that maybe things that I don't want to share in front of other people get kind of sussed out, and it just gives me a chance to be more spiritually open with women that actually make an effort to get to know me. So it's not just people that I say hi to every week, it's people who come to my home and actually, get to know me, and I build a relationship with them, and that's something I think that's really strengthening my testimony.
Visiting teaching is really good, and it's nice that the sisters care for one another. No, it's just all good. All good.
One time I was very upset about something, and my visiting teacher made a special effort to come round, and I was sort of basically crying on her shoulder. And I felt, here's somebody who's really, really listening, and that was good, and that's helpful to me. Somebody once said, a stranger is a friend you haven't met yet. And through visiting teaching, I've made wonderful friends, absolutely wonderful. People I can just ring up any time and speak to, and it's great. Okay, sometimes it's hard work, and when you're very busy you've got lots to do, but it's always worthwhile, and I always come home feeling much better in myself.
My very first week there, it was so friendly, and I felt really unity with the other sisters in the ward. And even though we were all from different backgrounds and different ages, and they had different talents, and we were all completely different, because we were all together in Relief Society, and we were all serving together and learning together and growing together. It just felt like we all had this great bond, and I felt that in all the wards that I've been in, that with all the other sisters, that we're just really unified, and I think that's what I love best about Relief Society.
It's all the benefits of working with a sisterhood, working with the young adults, and learning from the young adults as well, and realising that sisters of old and young can learn so much from each other. And the older sisters have got so much wisdom, so much knowledge to pass down, that we lose those old skills sometimes, and it's vital that as sisters, for me, getting together with no men is wonderful. That sisterhood is united, and we get together and we learn to love others and serve others, and we're very compassionate as well, and we're very organised, and we get so much done as sisters. So for me, Relief Society is an established organisation from God.
You have a glorious heritage. I pray to God that He will inspire you to preserve it and pass it on as a legacy to bless and bring joy to those in the generations and the seasons to come.